Hi, my name is Adam Rossen. I'm an attorney at the Rossen law firm, and today we're going to be talking about the penalties for DUI manslaughter cases in Florida. My name is Adam Rossen, the founder of the Rossen law firm. We handle all types of criminal and DUI cases, and we've handled quite a bit of DUI manslaughter cases. We have over 500 five-star reviews between Google, Avo, and a few other websites. We're very proud of that fact, and we help good people when bad things happen to them. Now, the penalties for a DUI manslaughter in Florida are severe. The crime is a second-degree felony, which means it has a maximum prison sentence of up to 15 years in prison. But there's also a mandatory minimum for DUI manslaughter cases. The minimum is 4, the maximum is 15. And on a 4-year mandatory minimum, it's day for day. So there's no early release. There's no halfway house. There's no release for good behavior. 4 years is 4 years. And there's very few ways to get around that 4 years, which we will be talking about in the video about defenses. We also have something in Florida called the Criminal Punishment Code Scoresheet and your guideline range. Basically, it's a mathematical calculation depending on a variety of factors. And what we've found on these cases, DUI manslaughter, if you've had no prior criminal history, you would obviously have the lowest number on the score sheet. That would be over 10 years in prison. So your mandatory minimums 4, your score sheet with no priors will put you around 10.5, and then the maximum is 15. As far as your driver's license, there's a minimum 3-year suspension all the way up to a permanent license revocation. Now, a DUI manslaughter can be increased to a first-degree felony if all of the normal elements of a DUI manslaughter are there, plus if at the time of the crash the person knew or should have known that a crash occurred and that person failed to render aid to basically try and save somebody's life. In these cases, the DUI manslaughter charge goes from a second-degree felony to a first-degree felony. And what that means is the max punishment goes from 15 years to 30 years. So the 4-year mandatory minimum stays the same. The score sheet number of 10.5 will increase about a year to 11.5, again with no prior criminal history. The license suspension stuff is all the same, but the maximum goes from 15 to 30 years. Also, on these DUI, on all types of DUI cases, there's treatment, there's DUI school, there could be community service, there is a rehabilitative aspect to it, there's breathalyzers in your car, which are called ignition interlock devices, but on a DUI manslaughter, instead of looking at a few days in jail, a few months in jail, like you would on a regular DUI, we're talking about 4 to 10 to 15 to possibly up to 30 years in prison. So on something like this, yes, the alcohol treatment is very important and can be very useful for mitigation when we talk about the mitigation as far as sentencing, mitigation with the prosecutor, mitigation with the judge. But as far as a real penalty, we have some bigger fish to fry, bigger things to worry about in a case like this. Now, in the next video, we're going to be talking about real defenses. We're going to be going much deeper into those. But for this video, I still do want to discuss how do we get around the 4-year mandatory minimum or the score sheet number, which could be 10.5 or 11.5 years. So there's only a few basic ways, again, we'll talk kind of basic overview for here. But first way is to beat the case at trial. If we go all the way to trial, which there's cases that we have many reasons to do that and many reasons in some other cases not to do that. But if we go to trial and the client's found not guilty, then we win. There is no mandatory minimum, there is no score sheet, there is no maximum, it's all gone. The second way that we can get around these is by filing legal motions to suppress. And on DUI cases and then DUI manslaughter cases in particular, there's a whole host of issues, legal issues, constitutional law violations, and motions to suppress that we can file, argue, and put the prosecutors on the defensive because they have to defend against our allegations of illegal conduct. It can be something that basically gets rid of a major factor of the case, or something that completely blows away their case and they have nothing. So we love motions to suppress here at my firm. Another way would be just to negotiate with the prosecutor. Doesn't always work. There's a lot of factors involved that, again, we'll talk about deeper in the next video. But negotiating with the prosecutor, we are able to negotiate under the 4-year mandatory minimum under the score sheet amount. The fourth way would be what's called a downward departure. Again, we'll discuss this in more detail in the next video, but a downward departure, we would be going in front of the judge and saying, Judge, because of these reasons, we're asking you to go below the score sheet range, the guideline range, so that 10.5 to 11.5 year period. Now, the judge does not have to do it. The judge can say no and give the maximum penalty of 15 or 30 years. Or the judge can grant it and go below all the way down to the 4-year mandatory minimum. But there is one other way that a judge could go below the 4 years, and that's our fifth way. And what that's called is a youthful offender sentence. Now, this is only applicable to somebody who was under 21 at the time of this incident. If we file this, a lot of times we'll have our expert witnesses. It could be forensic psychologists. It could be experts in that field talking about the youthful brain and a young person's brain with impulse-controlled decision-making. And if we can convince the judge to agree with us, a youthful offender, which is also called a YO, instead of looking at minimum 4, maximum 15, the total sentence is capped at 6 years. Hopefully this video has helped at least explain some of the penalties associated with the DUI manslaughter charge. If you have any questions whatsoever, if you're in need of help, please contact us. Our phone number is below. You can find us at rossenlawfirm.com. We have these videos and information on our website specifically for people like you. This is what we do. We help good people when bad things happen to them.